In Chicago during the 1970s, residents began to disappear, with no signs of struggle, no cries for help, and no explanations. They left for work. They went to sleep as usual. They left food on the table. Clocks marked the exact moment when time seemed to stop. And when police entered the apartments, it was as if the people had simply been erased. Chicago, 1970s. A city marked by rapid urban growth, economic decline in working-class neighborhoods, rising crime rates, old residential buildings, overcrowded and poorly maintained. Within this context, a seemingly ordinary residential building, located in a lower middle-class area, began to draw the attention of authorities, not because of fires, not because of visible violence, but because of something far more unsettling. People were disappearing, one after another. The building was not luxurious, nor was it abandoned. It was a typical structure of the time. Multiple floors long, dimly lit hallways, small apartments, residents who rarely knew each other by name. Turnover was high, but the pattern that emerged was not normal. The first officially recorded case occurred when family members reported the disappearance of an adult man who had lived in the building for only a few months. Police entered the apartment expecting the usual, signs of forced entry disorder, indications of escape. Instead, they found something strange. Everything was in place. Clothes, neatly stored personal documents on the table, food partially prepared, a wall clock still running. Nothing suggested the person had planned to leave forever. In the following months, other disappearances were reported, always in the same building, always with similar characteristics. No witnesses, no surveillance cameras, rare at the time, no reports of suspicious movement, no calls for help. The apartments appeared frozen in time. In at least 2 documented cases, the television was still on, the radio remained tuned, lights stayed on for days, until someone finally noticed the absence. The Chicago Police Department opened a formal investigation. Initial hypotheses were predictable: voluntary disappearance, family issues, drug involvement, crimes committed elsewhere. But one question continued to haunt investigators. Why were so many people disappearing from the same place, without leaving absolutely anything behind? Internal reports described something unusual. The apartments showed no signs of abandonment, were not dirty, were not emptied. It was as if the resident might return at any moment. In one case, officers reported an unmade bed, dishes in the sink, a clock showing the exact time it stopped, and was never reset. This detail appears in more than one testimony. Over time, the investigation began to stall. Lack of resources, pressure from other, more urgent crimes, absence of concrete evidence. Some files went missing. Others were left incomplete. There is no official record of a definitive conclusion. The building was never evacuated, never condemned, never shut down by court order. Life simply went on. Years later, journalists attempted to interview former residents. Many refused to speak. Others claimed they remembered nothing. Some described a constant sense of fear without being able to explain why. One sentence appears repeatedly in interviews from the time: "It felt like the building was watching us." Unconfirmed theories included crimes committed inside the building that were never solved, involvement of third parties with unrestricted access, serious investigative failures, institutional negligence. None were officially proven, and none were officially dismissed. As years passed, residents moved out, the building was renovated, the city moved on. The disappearances were never officially linked together as a single public case. They remained classified as isolated incidents. But all of them happened, in the same place. Today, few people know this story. There are no famous documentaries, no films, no answers, only fragmented records, and apartments that, for a time, were far too empty to be normal. Police failure, negligence, or something that was never brought to light. Some mysteries do not end with answers. They end with silence. This video is based on documented reports, real investigations, and historical records. Some details remain without official conclusions.